David Anthony Mapes, and that confuses people. I've been here forever, it seems like, and I named the gallery David Anthony Fine Art just because I thought it had a nicer ring to it. But then people that I've known forever start introducing me around as David Anthony, even though that's my middle name, not my last. It probably should have just been Furniture by David Mapes. My mother would have been the most happy about that. I noticed when I'd be working with customers, designing a piece of custom furniture, say, that it was always natural to me, but I became aware that it was a gift because not everyone can put things together in their mind. I mean, I'll sometimes go to bed at night knowing I'm going to start a project in the workshop and wake up and I'll have built it in my sleep. And it's, I already know what I'm doing. And it's just the weirdest thing. You know, I was born with a pretty active brain. I would never sleep when I was a kid. My mom was always exhausted. And so finally, my grandfather, who was an MD, gave me a little dose of phenobarbital so I would sleep so my mom could get some rest, because I'd want to do everything. And so I still want to do everything. But as soon as I got my driver's license, I went to a fireworks company that my brother actually was in Long Beach at a fireworks thing and got this guy's card that turned out to be one of the premier pyrotechnic designers in the country. He'd do the Super Bowls, the Statue of Liberty celebration, and all these things. And and he was doing the Hollywood Bowl. And so that's where I started getting my career. We were doing concerts, Rolling Stones and The Who, and that was really exciting. And then big company conventions. So they'd fly us around the country to do these shows. And so that was really fun. But I left all that because I wanted to be in Taos. It was much more conducive to being creative. And by then my father had moved here, opened a toy store. And because my parents divorced and I mostly lived with my mother, I thought, oh, it'd be nice to spend some time with my dad. And I'd come to Taos, and I remember, you know, I hadn't driven in snow much living in Los Angeles, and one of the first things I do is slide off the road into a ditch. And the first guy behind me pulls right up and ties a rope on his car and yanks me out of the ditch. And I was like, this is a nice place. People are really, it's more familial, and I felt like people didn't make an assumption on you based on how you looked. It was how you acted. You know, I opened up an art gallery, and I was wondering about how they were marketing the art scene. So then I was reading in the newspaper, and the PR firm at the time was having such a hard time getting input from people like the galleries and businesses. And it was describing all the different marketing groups. And they talked about a Tuesday morning meeting for marketing. And I thought, oh, I'm going to go to that and see what that's about. Anyway, because the PR firm was having so much of a hard time getting people to get creative about, like, making events. If you have an event, like let's say 5 galleries get together and they do a collaborative event. Now the town sees that as something different, and they're going to go, this is cool, it'll get people here. And it's not playing favorites to one business, because you can imagine how haywire that would get. This administration, I've gotten to know them and work with them, and it's like so excited to be really part of a real democracy that functions like it should, with checks and balances. And I don't know what I'd want to be remembered for. There's a whole lot of things I know I don't want to be remembered for. And I guess, at one point someone reminded me that I'm already was successful, even though I always equated that with economic freedom. But on the other hand, my grandfather was a craftsman, and I inherited his tools, and he was always about really doing things right and nicely. And so, and I've been building furniture for a long time, so I've gotten quite good at it. And so, but there's a side of me that wants to move on and do something different. I still like creating things. And so anything that I can solve a problem, figure it out in my head and turn it into reality with my hands is a joy. It gives me an adrenaline rush, and I'm an adrenaline junkie. What can I say?